Following the great general's route, Roto Castle's occupants yielded completely, allowing Earth and his companions to enter unopposed. Earth then conversed with Lord Lamoureux. The campaign had been protracted, but with divine favor, they had finally secured Roto Castle. Those critically wounded were discharged and returned to their families to convalesce. Soldiers with less serious wounds received medical attention and remained on active service, prepared for future engagements. Now, they simply awaited Lord Karan's arrival from Stan's castle. Just then, Pham appeared, evidently displeased with his remuneration. Having been promised 10 gold and 30 silver pieces for the safe completion of his assignment, he discovered 1 silver piece was lacking. A surprised Earth expressed regret for the oversight and vowed to rectify the missing payment. He also proposed a new task for Pham, conveying news of their triumph to Lord Karan. Pham accepted the assignment. As evening descended, Pham and 2 soldiers embarked on their mission. They were nearing the supply depot and, within moments, reached their destination. They were met with a devastating scene. The camp was engulfed in flames, and pandemonium reigned. The commanding officer barked orders for the immediate evacuation of all provisions. As the fire raged, Pham identified himself to the officer as a mercenary employed by Earth, Lord of Lemberg, bearing a message. Before relaying the information, however, he inquired about the unfolding crisis. The officer reported a sudden enemy assault and the subsequent burning of the stockpile. He added that reports suggested similar attacks on other supply units. He approximated that half their provisions and a significant portion of their magical reserves were lost. Meanwhile, in Farsoeth, Kansas, the city's leader spoke with a man called Thomas. Kansas observed that Stan's castle was heavily fortified, garrisoned by tens of thousands of soldiers. He then questioned the necessity of so thoroughly targeting the magical fluid reserves. Thomas retorted that magic formed the bedrock of contemporary warfare. Even the most impregnable fortresses could crumble before its might, particularly given the considerable quantity of volatile magical fluid at Karan's disposal. He clarified the present circumstances. With the enemy deprived of their magical fluid and supplies, Providence had extended the conflict. If they could maintain their position until winter's arrival, victory would be assured. However, vigilance against Karan's forces was essential, given their exceptional cunning. Anticipating potential counter-strategies, he stressed the importance of exploiting their vulnerability before they could retaliate, ensuring a decisive outcome. A startled Kansas asked, "And what vulnerability is that?" Thomas responded, "Karan himself. A formidable warrior, his strength is also his undoing. Lord Karan should remain secure in Simblat, entrusting frontline command to his subordinates. But, consumed by pride, he insists on personally engaging in combat. This renders him susceptible to attack, a fact I intend to exploit, despite the inevitable heavy guard surrounding him." He reassured Kansas, "Entrust this to me. I've tasted defeat at their hands before, and this time, my honor demands their annihilation. I cannot endure another loss." Back in Roto Castle, news reached Earth that Lord Karan's forces had been deprived of their supplies and magical fluids. Reports also surfaced of a surprise attack on their supply detachment positioned 3 kilometers southwest of the main army. Russell contemplated the situation. This supply loss could force a protracted engagement, he mused. The fact that they were ambushed, despite Lord Karan's remarkable vigilance, points to something more insidious, a strategic mastermind orchestrating these events. He commented on the surprising ambush despite Karan's renowned caution. Mary added, "My brother, Thomas, is the very person who tried to detonate Selena and everyone within St. Castle." Earth interjected, "With winter fast approaching, a lengthy campaign is untenable. We must act rapidly to provide support." He directed Ritz to ready the troops at once. Mary intervened, "There's no need for undue haste. Are there any further updates?" A knight responded, "The enemy's mage contingent has been sighted transporting a substantial quantity of stimulant to Mount Thurai, where Lord Karan's army is encamped. They are clearly visible from that location." Russell added, "Lacking magical fluids, Karan's troops cannot utilize magic. However, if they're redeploying their mages from defense to offense, they may launch a magical strike from the mountain." Romero countered, "That's improbable. The intervening distance is too great for any magical assault to be effective." Mary contemplated, "If we don't intervene, Karan will perish. The Shadow faction remains near their supply unit." At Karan's supply camp, a visibly anxious Pham learned from his aide of Earth's plan to rescue Karan. Pham was deeply apprehensive, acutely aware of the mission's perilous nature. Yet, they underscored the imminent danger to Lord Karan's life if they failed to act. Back at Earth's encampment, Mary stated, "Deploying troops to a location from which they cannot initiate an attack is pointless. However, we can induce them to cast a rainfall incantation. If they conjure storm clouds at a sufficient altitude, the rain will reach Karan's unit. She continued, Fert's oath possesses a considerable reserve of magical waterstones. Earth inquired about the potential risk to Karan. Mary explained, the spell doesn't simply produce rain. It unleashes a torrential downpour for a short duration. The terrain where Karan's forces are positioned has poorly maintained tracks, which will rapidly transform into mire, hindering their mobility. This will create disarray, as the diminished visibility will disrupt their tactics, creating optimal conditions for an ambush. Pham then set out to rescue Karan. Upon arrival, he found Mary's forecast completely accurate. He hastened towards Karan. Meanwhile, Karan and his knights observed a substantial contingent of riders approaching. Initially mistaking them for frontline reinforcements, he quickly discerned that they were adversaries. Realizing the enemy had exploited the downpour to infiltrate their ranks, intending to assassinate Lord Karan, everyone was stunned. Karan rallied his troops for battle. His knights charged the enemy cavalry, engaging in fierce combat. Amidst the melee, Karan spotted Thomas, who proclaimed, "Your life ends today." The two clashed in a furious duel, with Karan managing to inflict a wound upon Thomas. Infuriated, Thomas commanded his men to converge on Karan. Suddenly, an unnerving darkness enveloped Karan, blinding him. Startled, he heard a voice. "It's Pham," the voice said, urging him to remain composed and explaining that this was shadow magic. Karan, not recognizing Pham, inquired about his identity. Pham replied, "Earth hired me to ensure your safety." He assisted Karan onto his horse, and they began their escape. Karan asked about reinforcements. Pham assured him they were en route. Relieved, Karan expressed gratitude for Earth's foresight. As they fled, Karan pondered the shadow spell that had shrouded the area, questioning how Pham could wield such magic, given the scarcity of the required magical stones. They rejoined Pham's allies, leaving Thomas and his men disoriented in the darkness. Unable to see, Thomas instructed his men to heighten their awareness of their surroundings, listening for any sounds to avert an ambush. Suddenly, two of his knights were felled, instilling panic. He realized Pham could move undetected and strike with deadly precision. Despite this, Thomas narrowly parried an attack from Pham. The two engaged in a furious exchange, with Pham assaulting from multiple angles, yet unable to deliver a decisive blow. Recognizing their plan's failure, Thomas ordered a retreat. At the main command post of Karan's army, Karan addressed his troops. "The opportune moment to strike is now," he declared. "With the enemy commander absent from the castle, we will march on Stan's castle immediately. Prepare to advance." Pham smiled, impressed by Karan's tactical brilliance. As the majority of the men reorganized for the campaign, Pham reflected that their task was complete, and it was time to collect their payment. Karan approached Pham to express his gratitude, presenting him with a substantial quantity of gold as a symbol of his appreciation. Karan added, "I believe this is just recompense for your service. However, should it prove insufficient, I'd like to extend an invitation to join my personal guard." Intrigued, Pham inquired, "To serve the future sovereign of Meshan?" Karan responded, "I require a shadow unit like yours to secure victory in these tumultuous times. I can guarantee a promising future." Pham declined the proposition. "I have no need for your gold. That's not the concern. You are not the one who commissioned us. Earth will remunerate us amply. Those were the stipulations of our agreement." Pham and his team departed. Observing their departure, Karan remarked to his soldiers, "Earth preserved my life, but the shadow will likely exact a hefty price for their assistance." Later, Pham spoke with his comrades. "It wasn't a poor offer," he mused. "Perhaps I should have contemplated it further." He recalled a moment from the battle when he was on the verge of striking down an enemy soldier who pleaded for mercy, citing his wife and child. Pham coldly retorted, "That is of no consequence to me," before delivering the fatal blow. Back at Earth's camp, Pham expressed gratitude for his support. She mentioned that Lord Karan had also sent a letter of thanks, acknowledging Earth's intervention and implying that he might request substantial compensation for his services. Earth, noticing blood flowing from Pham's injured arm, commented, "You require a new dressing. That wound appears severe." Pham replied, "We, the shadows, have existed as mercenaries, outcasts, and former delinquents. My men and I accept any commission, regardless of its nature, as long as it sustains us, even if it necessitates taking lives." Earth responded, "You consistently surpass my expectations and have earned my implicit trust. Without your intervention, this campaign would have been lost. I am eternally indebted, even if your fees are considerable." Pham laughed heartily. "Why not integrate me into your ranks?" she suggested. "The shadow will operate exclusively for you." I wager on the future before others perceive it. I act before others comprehend and reap the benefits. You are presently just a regional lord, but I foresee you becoming the most influential man in Summerforth." Astonished, Earth inquired, "Are you sincere, fam?" Without dwelling on the man she killed earlier, she affirmed, "Even someone like me can retain their humanity. I pledge my allegiance to you." Earth expressed his sincere gratitude. "There's no need for formalities," he said. "I'm pleased to have you at my side." At Stan's castle, a group of men discussed their predicament. One remarked, "We failed to eliminate Lord Karan, but they've been deprived of their supplies and magical fluids. As long as we remain secure within the castle walls, we are safe. They will be compelled to withdraw once the snow begins to descend." The man then hefted a sword, clearly straining under its weight. Another individual observed, "That weapon is ill-suited for someone of your constitution."